In this lesson, I want to give you a quick overview about Bootstrap. So I've got a blank HTML page opened up here in my editor, index.html. So this is a completely blank page. And what I want to do in this lesson, I'm going to show you how we can add Bootstrap to our web page and our web page products. So when we go to Bootstrap, we go getbootstrap.com. So this is the main source of Bootstrap, and it's got some information here about Bootstrap. So essentially what Bootstrap is, it's a CSS library and a JavaScript library. And you link to these libraries and you bring in all of the wonderful pre-built classes that help you style your HTML within a way that's really easy to build out some amazing websites. So over here they've got essentially, the other good thing about Bootstrap is that it's one framework for every device, so it's mobile first thinking, and all the Bootstrap websites, they're built to be responsive. They're also full of features, as it says, so it's got some built-in jQuery plugins that you can really utilize. And a lot of this stuff here is things that we would be using on a regular basis when we're building out websites, and it's just really nice and handy to have that we can build these and add these things into our web projects really easily. So there's a GitHub repository to find out more about the Bootstrap project, and there's also here an amazing collection of websites and examples of all the wonderful, really nice websites that you can build with Bootstrap. And this is one of the reasons that Bootstrap is so super popular now, is because it just makes it really easy to build websites, and it essentially changes that whole build process. So once you bring Bootstrap into your website design, it really facilitates some nice styling cues, and the more websites, more and more websites and web applications are utilizing Bootstrap. So it's all over the place, and really sometimes it's amazing how many different websites and how many major websites are using it. So in order to get started with Bootstrap, so we need to link to the Bootstrap CSS library, and of course there's several different ways to bring the Bootstrap library into our code. So there's one where we can download it, so we can download it, we can compile it, so we can get the Sass, compile it, we can look at all of the source code, so this is everything Bootstrap. But if you're simply just trying to utilize it for a project and you just want the CSS classes and the JavaScript and the fonts, then you can simply go to download Bootstrap. And the alternative, and usually the quickest way to get going, is to link to the CDN. So what a CDN is, this is just a shared library that we access. So the idea here is if multiple websites are utilizing or accessing that same library, then it's going to allow you to load quicker. And also the same thing here for accessing the jQuery, the JavaScript library. So of course we need to link to the jQuery library before we link to the Bootstrap JavaScript, because it's based around jQuery. And then they also have an optional theme. So a theme is just some pre-built styling, and so we're just going to link to the main compiled CSS and the minified JavaScript, and we're going to build out our own theme. And there are a few other ways here to do the installs. So we can install with Bower or npm. So this is how you can bring those in. We can install it with Composer. So quite a few options. And over here, so we've got our pre-compiled Bootstrap. So we've got all of the stuff here. If you download Bootstrap, then you're going to get all of this stuff downloaded. So we've got our JavaScript, we've got fonts and CSS. So essentially this is what the Bootstrap structure is going to look like. And here's a basic Bootstrap template. So we're going to use this as our starting point for our web application, and essentially this is just a basic HTML5 template. So we're specifying our doc type, we're specifying our language, our character set, also for Internet Explorer. And there's one interesting one here, viewport. So this is something that should be included on any mobile ready website, and essentially it allows you to readjust the size of your browser and still have it scaled on a one-to-one. So you're going to be able to see this most on mobile when you're browsing through web pages using a mobile device. Sometimes you might see that the text is really super small, and that's because they haven't actually added this in, and this really does help with the text size. So again, let's just copy this out, bring that over into our editor and paste it in. And one of the things here is I'm going to get rid of the commenting area here because we're not going to need to refer to that. So I'm going to quickly get rid of that, and then what I'm going to do, instead of actually downloading Bootstrap, I'm going to link to the CDNs. So of course, if you want to download it, and if you're not using an internet connection, you want to play around with it, then the idea here is the best thing probably would be to download it. But because I'm using a web-connected device here, I'm just going to simply link to the CDN, and this is going to give me access as if it would be within my website. So I'm going to replace that with the CDN, and I'm going to replace the JavaScript link right now as well. And these are the latest versions of Bootstrap that are currently available right now. So now that I saved that, we can go up to our web page, and we probably won't see a whole lot here. We'll see hello world, and so this is essentially our starting point here for the website. So I'm going to reset it to default, and this is basic Bootstrap there, and as of yet we don't see anything because we haven't applied any of the CSS classes. So I'm going to quickly run through that in the next lesson and give you a better idea of how to apply Bootstrap and how we can start building our structure in order to accommodate Bootstrap. So that's coming up in the next lesson.